Okay, you're very welcome here to Belfast to the Ulster Historical Foundation. And we have Mr. Tim Smith. Tim, what exactly do you do down here?
Good morning, Damian. I am the Business Development Officer for the Ulster Historical Foundation. We are a charity founded more than 50 years ago in 1956 with a very simple mission to tell the world the story of the people of Ulster, to connect people of Ulster and Irish descent who are living elsewhere, particularly in North America, with their relatives back home, and to encourage an interest and a pride in Irish and Ulster history and heritage and culture. And in pursuit then of these goals, we engage in a variety of activities, including family history research. If you want guidance on how to trace your ancestors, come to us. We engage in heritage and tourism activities. We've got a major event coming up next year celebrating marking the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Presbyterians into Ireland. And of course we also publish books about this place, books about significant figures of and from this place. And it's good to talk to you today, bearing in mind your extensive GAA connections, because one of our more interesting volumes is George Sigerson. George Sigerson, poet, patriot, scientist and scholar. And while of course Sigerson may be reasonably well known within GAA circles, outside that community, unfortunately there's very little knowledge of Sigerson at all. He was a fascinating character. Few people know, for example, that Charles Darwin was an admirer of Sigerson, because Sigerson was a scientist who did a lot of research into diseases of the nervous system, and was a leading authority during the late 19th century with regard to that area of medicine. So in addition to his connections with the Gaelic Athletic Association, of course he was an Irish patriot. He was highly influential with regard to promoting the Irish language. He translated a lot of ancient Irish poetry into English. But there's a lot more to him even than that. And if I might say, this fine volume, hardback, very competitively priced at only $16.99, tells the full story of Sigerson, and I'm sure it'll be of interest to the good folk in Newry.
And Tim, when we talk about George Sigerson here, I suppose everybody thinks of the Sigerson Cup, but there's more to this guy than just football.
Absolutely. He was an incredibly well-rounded character with interests in several areas, and indeed arguably his greatest contribution to society here was with regard to his medical research. But he was a scientist, he was a poet, he was a patriot, he was a scholar, and of course the Sigerson Cup is dedicated to his memory.
And of course, if someone's looking, this book, good competitive price, and it can be got here off yourselves.
You can get it from our website, www.booksireland.org.uk. If anybody wants to check out our site in general, because as I said a moment ago, in addition to publications, family history research is the mainstay of the foundation, informing people and guiding people with regard to how they research their past. If you want to just go onto our website, which is www.ancestryireland.com, and follow the relevant links. If I could make a little plug, the foundation is a charity. Resources are limited, but I do think we make an important contribution with regard to the history of the historic ancient province of Ulster, and that of course includes the nine counties. And we're always interested to help people with their research into their ancestry.
And of course, Tim, if local historians decided they wanted to write a history of their area, maybe the narrow gauge railways in Armagh or something like that, or maybe even the canal in Newry, the first canal in these islands, you would be interested in something like that?
We're always interested in having a conversation. We've been publishing books for more than 40 years of our 56-year history. Publications are important to us. I have to point out that in this world dominated by the internet, publishing books and selling books is more difficult, but we're always interested in having a conversation with people, seeing what they are suggesting, so people would be most welcome to get in contact with us.
And of course, Tim, I sit in the heart of your establishment here in Belfast, and I'm surrounded by books from every angle here. And I have to say, I get the feel of history all around me here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are infused by our history. It makes us what we are. It's important, and indeed, perhaps now in these more enlightened times is as good a time as any for us to research our own family history to find out where we come from and what which has contributed to what we are today.
And Tim, taking my own family, I can probably trace back to the 1901 census.
Yeah.
After that, I sort of draw a blank. So if I wanted to go further back than that, can you help me here?
It depends on each individual what other data is available, but yes, absolutely. I mean, we can trace roots back to the 17th century and have done so for people through the use of parish records, birth, deaths and marriages, gravestone inscriptions. The further back you go, the more difficult it gets, obviously, but it depends on each individual case, but certainly, it's worthy of a look.
Well, Tim Smith, absolutely fantastic. Down here in this little cave of historical books, it's been a pleasure to speak to you, and hopefully we'll be able to get some enlightenment of what's happening here in Belfast, and we'll put it out to Destination Newry. And of course, we have to say we all love Sigerson. We probably, a whole lot of us didn't know that his first name was George, but for anybody out there that would love a good book, a good read at a good price, it's here, and it's George Sigerson. Tim Smith, thank you very much.
Thank you, Damian.